Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Whole 10 Yards, Week 9 of the NFL. I am your host, Julio Zepeda. Let's get ready. We got a whole bunch of games we're going to look at, especially special one we got going on this weekend. So tune right in and we'll get right into it. All right, the first game we're looking at, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. It's very exciting. It's arguably the best rivalry in the NFL for the past few years. It's kind of sizzled off a little bit, I think. Back when Troy Polamalu was playing, it was very heated. It was very great. A lot of our matchups were always very important. Every game is important, but between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, no love is lost. Both teams hate each other. It's going to be great. It's the two times a year that I hate my friend Humphrey Miranda because he's the biggest Baltimore Ravens fan that I know. But it's going to be great. We've been talking about it a lot. And, both teams are coming off a bye week. Both of them also lost before the bye week, so they're kind of sitting in a similar position, except the Pittsburgh Steelers have a better record as of right now. The good thing with the bye week is Ben Roethlisberger, Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, has had some time off to recover from that knee surgery. He did have a partially torn, I believe it was his MCL, or partially torn ACL. Something not good, basically. He had surgery. They cleaned it up a little bit. He's missed the last two games, including leaving the Miami Dolphins game in which he got hurt, and the bye week. As of Saturday night, Sunday morning, he is questionable. It's going to be a truly game-time decision for him to play. We think he's going to play. So does outside linebacker / defensive end Terrell Suggs. He thinks he's going to play. Ben Roethlisberger and Terrell Suggs has been questionable. I think he's going to play also. The Steelers, though, historically, they're struggling on defense. Historically, it's not something that happens, but they're struggling on defense right now. Hopefully do a lot better this morning in today's game against Baltimore. Cameron Hayward is coming back. Ryan Shazier should be out there. He missed the last couple games. He's been injured. The one thing that still stands out for me, unfortunately, the Pittsburgh Steelers are last in the NFL in sacks. They only have 8 total sacks through the 9th week of the NFL. Baltimore also, historically, when you think about Baltimore and Pittsburgh, you think about defense and like running game. Baltimore, they're number 17th in sacks, only have 16 sacks. Neither team is actually running the ball that well. Le'Veon Bell, since coming back, has kind of sparked up the offense again. Not that they were lacking with DeAngelo Williams, but he just brings a different dimension. Arguably one of the best backs in the NFL. Total complete back. He leads. He's always a threat from either receiving it or running it, obviously. But the one thing this season so far, since he came back, Le'Veon Bell, running back, has yet to reach the end zone. I think he's going to do it this week, so it's going to be good. Baltimore, they were struggling on offense. They still are, unfortunately. They did fire their offensive coordinator a couple weeks ago after they lost to the New York Jets, but the offense still hasn't seen much of a change since then. There's a lot of questions. These two teams are struggling. They're both kind of going in the opposite direction that they want to be. But the Baltimore Ravens have Marshall Yanda coming back, offensive lineman, so that'll be a huge plus for them. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, hopefully Ben Roethlisberger plays, although I would be careful. I'd rather, personally, I would rather, maybe put Landry Jones out there and kind of wait it out. The last season we did get swept by the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not really expecting much, unfortunately, this season, for at least between the matchup between the Ravens, which is kind of sad, but it's okay. If Ben Roethlisberger plays, I'm picking the Pittsburgh Steelers. If he doesn't, it's going to be rough. Last season, we got swept, and one of those games, the first game, Michael Vick played actually instead of Ben Roethlisberger. We couldn't do it without him. He just brings a different kind of dimension. A full, healthy Ben Roethlisberger brings a different kind of dimension. 2-time Super Bowl champ, and just it's going to be really rough to be out there without him and get the W. I think if DeAngelo Williams can play, if Le'Veon Bell can get the ball going, maybe we have a fighter's chance. Baltimore is struggling, but it's just everything kind of, that's what happens in this game. Everything goes out the window between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, if Big Ben plays, which I think he will, I say we win. So I'm picking the Pittsburgh Steelers to win against the Baltimore Ravens. Sorry, Humphrey. If you want to make a bet on it, let's make a bet. Text me, you got my number. I'll see you later. All right, guys. The second game we're looking at is Bills at the Seahawks, Monday Night Football. It's going to be great. I don't know if you guys saw that little promo that they had. It is on the eve of Election Day. They had a little House of Cards promo. But anyway, regardless. Let's talk about a little bit about this game. The Seahawks are coming off that tough loss in New Orleans that I unfortunately picked correctly. The defense gave them a fighting chance, however. If it wasn't for that score, that fumble return for a touchdown, I think it could have been a lot worse. The Seahawks, like I said, they're struggling on offense. At one point, I believe it was midway through the second quarter, they had the ball for 7 minutes on offense. The score was tied, but they had the ball for 7 minutes. The Saints had already had it for about 30 minutes. So basically, the defense gives them a fighting chance, which is good. But they are still going to be missing Cam Chancellor and Michael Bennett. But they've been holding their own without them. And I mean, if they held their own against the New Orleans Saints, I think they can do it against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo is kind of interesting. I believe Buffalo is the team that Seattle wants to be, or Seattle could look like. They lead the league in rushing. They have a mobile, agile quarterback that can kill you kind of through the air and with his legs. And they have a really good running back in LeSean McCoy. Mike Gillislee also has been a very good spell running back. But LeSean Shady McCoy is one of the best running backs in the past, 10 years since he came into the league. Also, since Philadelphia. Shout out Danny. But they're both coming off tough losses. Buffalo lost to New England. I mean, who's going to beat New England this year, guys? Honestly, we'll talk about that in another video. But injuries so far have kind of been the story for Seattle. Also kind of for Buffalo. But they are number one in the running game, like I said, and they also are number one in sacks. Seattle is third ranked in sacks, which is actually kind of good, which is why I'm saying that Buffalo is kind of the team that Seattle wants to be. And they could be. They just need to run the ball a little bit more. That offense just needs to pick it up. But the offensive line, it's unfortunate, but they're struggling. But we were watching the interviews of practice with Pete Carroll. He said everybody's had a really great week of practice. Obviously, they're going to say that, but Russell Wilson has said he hasn't felt this great since week 1, which is very optimistic and very great to hear. So I think Seattle's going to be able to hold their own again in this one. Their defense was always going to give them a chance, and it's at Seattle. That stadium's going to be rocking. I'm picking Seattle Seahawks in this game. They're going to beat the Buffalo Bills. It'll be a close game, especially if LeSean McCoy plays. I think it'll be a close game. But the overall experience, the veteran that they have in Russell Wilson compared to Tyrod Taylor, he's been there before already. He knows how to do it. He knows how to get it done. It's just going to be a Seattle type of game. Hopefully it's not a tie, but it's going to be good. I'm picking the Seattle Seahawks to win against the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football. Next primetime game we're looking at, guys, Sunday Night Football. Denver Broncos at the Oakland Raiders, going down to the black hole, Raider Nation. I'm excited, as you can tell on my face. It's going to be good. I don't know what it is about the Oakland Raiders this year. I'll just go on the record and say that I've been saying for 4 years that the Raiders are going to be good. They're finally proving me right. But Denver, DDD, defense. 8th overall ranked. They have 8 interceptions on the year, 6 forced fumbles, 3 touchdowns on defense, including that pick 6 last week against San Diego. They have the number 2 passing defense going up against a top 5 ranked Oakland Raiders pass offense, which is going to be a great matchup. Aqib Talib is out again, unfortunately, for the Denver Broncos, but they have Chris Harris Jr. and Bradley Roby holding their own also down, at both corner spots. The story of, it's just kind of weird to me, kind of crazy. People say that, defense doesn't exist anymore, or offense, wins games, or offense wins championships, or whatever. No, defense wins championships. Defense is the story of the NFL this year. I was just talking about Seattle and their defense. The Denver D, they won the Super Bowl last year. We can see what they've done so far. And the defense, just like Seattle, has kind of been bailing the offense out. But Denver's playing a lot better. They have a little bit of a better running game than Seattle does. But both teams, actually, I was looking at it, both teams lost to the Falcons this year. That's a very high caliber team. The Atlanta Falcons are killing it so far in the NFC. Probably end up winning, end up with the number 1 seed. At least I think so. Which is kind of interesting. At least they both lost to a quality team. And then Denver lost to the Chargers, and the Raiders lost to the Chiefs. It's kind of like, well, what happened there, right? But this game is going to be exciting. It's going to be great. The Raiders look great on offense, but it did take OT to beat Tampa Bay, a team that Denver handily beat a few weeks ago. I think a key to this game, the wide receivers, Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree, have to win their matchups. It's going to be awesome to watch. Possibly the best corners, even with Talib out, possibly the best corners in the NFL. And I think the game could come down to just one stop or 1 turnover. It's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be good. And I think ultimately it's just so it's hard to predict, obviously, any given Sunday, but I think the series is going to be split on the year between the Raiders and the Broncos. Home field wins it. It's, that crowd is going to be electrified down there. They're going to be pumped up. The Raiders are going to be pumped up. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to go watch it with all the Raider homies. And I think the Raiders are going to win this game. It's going to be close. It's going to be tough, but I think that there's, just from somewhere, they're going to pull out one defensive stop or one turnover that's going to, make it, and they're going to win this game. I think ultimately down the line, they're going to lose when they travel to Denver. But I'm picking the Oakland Raiders to win this game. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Meet us. I think we're going to the Redwood Inn, I think. Show up into some Raider gear, get a free shot. Let's go, guys. Go Raiders. All right, now for the last segment of this week's episode, Week 9 of the NFL. There are a lot of teams that are on a bye, and with just the 3 games that I'm very excited for, and I think a lot of people are excited for, are going to be on TV. And we're just going to do quickly the other games that are going on this week. Lions at the Vikings, picking the Lions. Jets at Dolphins, Dolphins. Jaguars at Chiefs, Chiefs. Panthers at Rams, Panthers. Titans at the Chargers, Titans. Sorry, Payne. Cowboys at Browns, Cowboys. Eagles at Giants, fly Eagles fly. Saints at 49ers, the Saints. Colts at the Packers. I'm going to do it for you, Chris. I'm going to pick the Colts. All right, guys, that was this week on The Whole 10 Yards. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next week, all right? Have a good weekend.